Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
There's some really dumb sayings out there that don't make any sense. And people say them all the time, and there's zero value to what that saying is, unless you know the technique, how to use it. And what this podcast is about, and yes, this is the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check. This is Dan Brzezowski. I am the host of the No Comfort Zone, and I created this to literally help me solve my problems, get out of my comfort zones so that I can start living on purpose and find happiness and confidence and wealth and success and all that other stuff that ever since I put myself through that 60-day challenge, when I challenged myself to get uncomfortable at every minute and every moment I possibly could, it wasn't until then, after the 60 days, that I realized that by controlling my comfort zones and getting through them, I was able to find success. And this is after the guy who took pretty much every way he possibly could, any easy way out he could. It wasn't until I actually defined that, you know what, every time I've gotten uncomfortable in my life and risked stuff and challenged myself, it wasn't until that moment that I realized I became a better person. So I decided for a 60-day period to actually challenge myself and actually do this day in and day out, getting up early, taking the cold showers, watching what I was eating, on a massive level, and really working hard at my place of employment to conquer my goals and achieve certain realities. It wasn't until then that after the first 30 days, I was able to find really good success personally. And then the next 30 days, I found success within my organization. But the best part is, at the end of 60 days, doors opened up that would never have opened up before. It was a magical experience. I had opportunities all around me, and I decided to mic drop, change my life. So why am I talking about these crazy little sayings that people say that doesn't make any sense? Is because this one drives me nuts. You can attract more flies with honey than you can with vinegar, or more bees with honey than you can with vinegar. That's great. Now, how do you do that? Sure, you can talk nice to people, but then you're a nice guy who's getting walked all over, right? Or what you can do is you can just be a dictator and no one's going to like you. No one's going to respect you. They might do a little bit, but there's going to be zero engagement. And in the workplace or in your family, they say that 25% of the people are engaged. The other aren't. That math, 75%, 2/3 of the people aren't engaged. What? Does that sound like everything? Yes. Everywhere that I am, that's the way it seems. So how do you actually get more bees with honey? If you really break it down, this is a communication skill that you need to start working in your house, in your place of employment, when you need things, when you want to help other people get out of their own way. What you need to do is you need to throw two. First off, you have to know what you want the other person to do. This isn't manipulating. Manipulating is poor. It's unethical. It's not something you do. It's so primal. This is not that podcast. It's ignorant if you use this for the wrong reason. So if you're listening to this podcast, I hope you're not that guy or gal that's going to use this to be disingenuine, because you have to be sincere, authentic, genuine, transparent for this to work. Otherwise, you're a phony, and there's no phonies wanted on this podcast, okay? So here's the deal. As I podcast to you from my car, I recently had a customer complaint I'm dealing with. And how does the customer complaint deal with your life? I don't know. Figure it out. That's the way it goes. The No Comfort Zone. I'm dealing with this customer who's pretty upset at the way he was talked to by somebody that I work with. And I'm not going to say the person that was actually dealing with him was wrong. Maybe the way they went about it could have been a little bit better. Something that I know that served me really well is when I need something, a customer to say yes, a salesperson to do something, somebody in the customer service end of stuff to accomplish something, my daughter to do something, whatever it is, my wife to do something, anything, a cashier at a store, whatever it is. What I want you to know this. You have to genuinely and purposefully, with intention, you have to give the person a genuine, sincere compliment. I'm not talking phony. Please understand that. You have to give them one compliment, then another genuine, sincere compliment. And if you've given them 2 compliments, then you are allowed to take a deposit back. What that means is this. Just imagine each compliment is worth 25 cents. You're not allowed to ask for anything in return until the emotional bank has 50 cents in it. Because each time you ask and take out, it costs you 50 cents. So each compliment is 25 cents. You want something back in return? It's going to cost you basically 50 cents. Why am I bringing that up now? Because, hey, Mr. Customer who's so upset at our organization, you've taken the time to research out our dealership. You've taken the time to research out our product. You've taken the time to drive out to this place, which was far away from where you live. And he didn't get what he wanted, and that's why he was so upset. But then somebody steps in and says, sorry, you can't have it, have a nice day, go somewhere else. And that really fired him up. So I gave him the compliment for doing his due diligence and selecting us. I believe that you've made the right decision, and based on our conversation, it sounds like all of your purchases in the past were well thought out because of your due diligence. You like nice things, and I'm complimenting him on the decisions that he makes. Also, I wanted to compliment you or appreciate the fact that you took the time to write a 3-page email to me complaining about how our organization lacks communication skills and doesn't empathize with customers. I agree with the majority of your email. Now listen, they always say this in customer service, the customer's always right. It's not true. Customer's not always right. They're not. If they're looking for information, sometimes that information can be misunderstood. So that doesn't mean they're always right. Are their expectations right? Yeah. And as in the sales organization or in anything, you can turn that around without manipulation, just by increasing the value and pointing their attention in an area they might have overlooked, making them become aware of the entire deal, not just one portion of it. So by letting this customer know I appreciate their due diligence, I appreciate their time, I appreciate their ability to communicate a very well-written email, I have to let you know too is that there's a cost of doing business here. And the cost of doing business is going to be blank. And the reason why I cannot do what you're asking me to do is because of the cost and this. What I propose is that you consider doing this and moving forward in this direction or making it work here. I've listened, I've acknowledged what the customer had to say. I've complimented the customer on their ability to do research, write an email, and take their time and invest in this. And also let them know that, hey, listen, although I appreciate your offer, I can't do this, but I am willing to do this. Wow, wouldn't you believe it? Actually, I started to speak the customer's language. Did I manipulate him? Nope. Did I persuade him to my way of thinking? No, he was interested from the beginning, and he cared enough to write an email, and I let him know that. I know you care enough because otherwise you wouldn't have wrote the email. You could have just slapped up a bad review online and said, Pasadena next. I'm going on to the next guy. You deal with the bad review because, quite frankly, the customer is justified. And I hope that makes sense because in your life, if you could learn how to persuade people to your way of thinking, if you're ethical, genuine, sincere, authentic, if you can do that, the world's going to be at your feet because that's really what salesmanship is. If you have the ideal way of thinking, and if you do believe that your product and service is going to enhance the customer's overall experience or value in their life, then you're supposed to ask for a high dollar amount. You're supposed to do the right thing. You're supposed to increase the value by communicating or showing the awareness where it needs to go. Now watch this. If you know about the blueprint already, if you've got a copy of the blueprint, which you can go to the nocomfortzone.com and download it, check this out. I just made the customer become aware of the current situation and the current deal that's on the table, or convince my daughter, hey, this is what I need you to do because you are a hardworking student. You're doing really well. I see you up at 2 in the morning studying at the kitchen table, and I'm going to be so proud of you when you graduate. But more importantly, what you're doing right now, I'm really proud of you. You're killing it. Keep at it. The hard work will pay off. In the meantime, could you please, kindly, nicely, make sure that your coffee cup makes it to the dishwasher, please? I have a better chance of getting that from them versus not. I hope you understand what I'm trying to do. But now that I've created the reality for the customer, and I did create the reality by putting the awareness or the energy in that space of where we're at in the deal, then you identify what it's going to take in order to move forward, and then give them a chance to make a decision on what they want to do by asking the right and appropriate questions. I can ask either or questions to control the conversation, or I can ask open-ended questions to let the customer begin talking about what's important to them. And then afterwards, it's action. What type of action do you need? Is it taking the coffee cup over there now? Is it demanding something happen at that point in order to move forward? Whatever it is, the no comfort zone mindset works in persuasion. It works in sales. It works for goal setting. It works for handling adversity. It's really just a mindset. And now you have a solution on exactly what it's going to take for you to move forward in your business, in your home, in your relationships. And that's what this podcast is all about, baby. Helping you get where you want to go through communication. Really. So if you're ethical, if you're authentic, if you're genuine and you're sincere, I hope this podcast served you, because I'm telling you right now, that customer is being turned around as we speak. My daughter's putting her coffee cups in the dishwasher, and you know what? Life's just turning out to be pretty good because I'm commanding it to do so, because I understand what persuasion is really about. And I hope you find value in this podcast so that you can get out of your comfort zone and begin to live on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at No Comfort Zone 1.
5.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.